What's up, boys? Welcome to another video, and obviously I'll be going through my journey and why I started lifting, why I started going to the gym, like why do I do what I do now, why am I living a disciplined life, why do I feel confident, why, all these whys, right, is questions that people may ask me or that I ask myself sometimes, and sometimes I just have to go back and go through my journey of why it all started, and I'll be sharing that with you guys, my experience growing up and pretty much why I got into lifting. But to start this journey, right, growing up, I'm Asian, right? I'm half white, I'm half Asian, so I got picked on for being Asian. I got picked on for being small all the time, and got racist, got made fun of, like, racist jokes and shit growing up. But I didn't really let it get to me, to be honest. I kind of just brushed all those jokes off and stuff. But the jokes I did took personally was being small, being skinny, because I knew, like, just because I was smaller, I'll get picked on, right? I wouldn't get picked, playing kickball or football, even though I was pretty athletic as a kid, and I proved people wrong for sure. But that shit don't matter now, obviously. But yeah, I was growing up, I lived a good childhood, just played video games a lot and went outside a lot. So I was very active as a kid, but I was always a picky eater until I was in middle school, right? Like I'm being so real with you. My mom would put a taco in front of me, and I just did not want to eat it. I wanted to eat chocolate and cookies and all those sweet treats, right, with sugar. That's what I wanted to eat, and that's why I was so skinny probably, and small. And I deserve to get picked on because it helps me become the man who I am today, I guess. I didn't get that much, I didn't get bullied that much, but I took offense to the criticism and shit, in a good way. But I remember being younger, I would watch football, NFL football, with my parents, with my family, and I'm a Steelers fan, so I'll see guys like Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, JJ Watt or Cam Chancellor on other teams, and I was like, these guys are big, they got big arms, they look jacked, and I wanted to look like that, right? And I would see superheroes like Batman and bigger guys, men that had these masculine physiques, that had physiques that looked jacked, right? They looked good, they looked confident, and it was that's who I want to be. That's I want to look like that when I'm older, right? And I decided to play football my 8th grade year of middle school, going. And I remember I was 90 pounds soaking wet, starting to play football, and I got thrown around. I got pushed around, of course, on the field. And being that small kid, I remember not being confident. I remember not being looking in the mirror and being damn, why am I so skinny? Why do I look like this? And I was so disgusted with myself that I just decided to make a change, right? Because people told me, and I was around, you have to understand that I was around guys that were bigger than me all the time playing football. And obviously playing football, I was forced to lift as well. It was not mandatory, but if you wanted to play football, you want to get playing time, you had to show up for summer workouts and stuff. But I remember my 8th grade year going into my freshman year, I was so scared of my coach because I knew he was going to make fun of me. I knew he was going to pick on me for being small. So that whole summer I just played Fortnite season 5. I was streaming on Twitch. I had to go TikTok following at a time. I had 60K followers, and I'll just make content with gaming and tech, and I would go outside and play, and I would work out in my gym basement. Hold on, let me end this clip and start a new one. But yeah, after my freshman year, right, I just really was so motivated and driven to work hard in the off season, so that's what I did. And I had a gym in my, a mini home gym in my basement, and all it was a bench, a few dumbbells, a curl bar, and a barbell, and some plates. So that's what I was working with, right? And I remember starting out, the only thing I'll do is bench press. I'll be benching 4 times a week. That's probably why my bench was so good starting out, and it got pretty good now, is because I just benched so much when I was younger. And I remember for leg workouts, I'll do there's a leg extension machine at the end of the bench. I'll do that. I'll do RDLs, I'll do lunges with dumbbells or with a barbell over my head, and just do things like that. right? And it helps, right? It definitely developed my physique. But yeah, during COVID year though, COVID hit and I was just stuck inside. So I just lifted, played Warzone, played 2K, 20, played Fortnite, streamed on Twitch, made content, and got jacked. Started lifting and came back for football workouts and practice. And people were like, "Yo, Kruger, you look bigger. You look jacked. Like, you look good. Like, what have you been doing?" Right? I was getting steroid accusations because like it just happened so fast. It just seemed like it happened so fast. Obviously, they were probably joking around, but yeah, obviously that boosted my confidence for sure, and it made me feel better about myself. And the reason why I started to keep going, right, is because I saw the results. Like, I saw results, and like I became obsessed with lifting. I became obsessed with getting results, getting bigger, getting stronger, and seeing my physique develop, right, for the better. And then obviously, like, I had a strong reason why, right? I was not confident. I wasn't the man who like I wanted to look like, and like I'll get picked on, I'll get bullied, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just like work hard in the off seasons, and I was really driven to become a better football player as well. So lifting and doing workouts, like athletic workouts as a receiver and corner, really helped me as well. But that pretty much throughout high school, I was on and off with lifting because of football, right? During the seasons I couldn't lift, so I'll just lift during the off seasons, and then summer workouts were just football workouts, which definitely helped for sure develop my physique and my stamina and my strength, and it's just to be a better athlete in general, right? We had great trainers, we had great coaches, and we had a great environment that I was surrounded with. So that really helped me like reach like pretty good like physique level, I guess, in high school. And I remember my senior year, like I got a little more female attraction, so obviously like at the time, like I wanted to get jacked, you know, to look good for girls as well. And obviously that happened, right? I started dating this girl my beginning of my senior year, like after homecoming, like 2 or 3 months after homecoming, and we dated for 9 months. And obviously during that whole relationship, I was lifting, I was making progress, I was doing, you know, being disciplined with myself, right? I always stay disciplined with myself, with my physique, with the gym, because I just fell in love with it, right? I just simply fell in love with the gym, with looking better, and just becoming better. And that was no problem for me, being disciplined. But I remember she broke up with me 3 weeks into our long distance relationship, because I was going on FAU. I wanted to go to FAU for Florida, and she was still finishing up her senior year in high school. So like we were like a year apart at that time, and she broke up with me. And I'm very fortunate to not go through like a lot of hardships growing up. So when she broke up with me, that really like broke me. That really like drained my heart for sure. And I just remember feeling so broken, so lost and sad, to where like I was probably depressed at the time, and I didn't even like realize it until looking back at it. I was definitely depressed because I started breaking out with acne. Like, it was terrible. But the gym progress like stayed. Like, I obviously was more motivated, more like disciplined, just wanted to become better, right? And that's pretty much like that started my self-improvement journey, was that breakup, right? I just wanted to look better, and you know, figured out how to get rid of my acne, figured out how to just become better as a man. Like, I started getting closer to God, right? That's like when I found God, pretty much. Like, I'll discuss that in a different video, my testimony, finding Jesus, finding God, and getting closer with him, because it's definitely a story for sure that a lot of people do not know, and only my closest friends know, like, my whole testimony. So I definitely want to share that with you guys in the future very soon. But as of now, we're gonna stick with the lifting journey. But yeah, so that happened, and then it took me like 10 months to heal from that relationship, because I realized she was dating another guy, and then that really like helped me move on. Remember my sophomore year of college, like I felt like myself again. Like, I felt healed, I felt like myself, and I was just surrounded by amazing friends, amazing people, and like I started taking my self-development journey a lot more serious starting my sophomore year, because I was healed from that relationship, right? I had nothing to hold me back, and obviously other things held me back, like chasing girls, or you know, chasing like, or being a slave to lust at the time, or You know, I was always going on dates with girls, always looking for like my future partner, even though like that didn't help me grow as a human at all, grow as a man at all. But yeah, my fitness journey definitely took off my sophomore year. Like my physique started to develop like crazy, where I hit a lean bulk, got up to like 182 pounds, and I remember benching 335, deadlifting 495, squatting like 425, and then like all that, like all these PRs and stuff, they don't matter, right? But the physique is what I built, and something that I could be proud of, where I could look in the mirror and be like, damn, I worked for that. Like I didn't take any shortcuts. These last 5 years of my journey, I really decided to go all in with fitness, with the gym, and it shows, right? I feel so disciplined with myself in the gym, locked in, right? And now I can translate that to other areas of my life, right? With starting this coaching business, starting with my schoolwork, right? Being disciplined with all these things that develops me as a man to make me better, right? And then, yeah, I hopped into my first bodybuilding prep after my sophomore year, which was like this summer, and I got very shredded. As you saw, you could probably look back in other videos, go to my Instagram, scroll down, like I was shredded to a T. Like my physique was peaking at that point, right? I looked amazing. I was feeling so confident with myself, and mentally I was just like in an amazing place, right? And then show day comes, right, and it goes good, right? I have an amazing time, have fun. Obviously the show didn't go as expected, right? You could look at the results on my show day vlog, but definitely learned a lot through that prep. Like I learned how to take my diet serious, right? Like now I'm actually disciplined with my diet. Like I don't cheat on my meal. I don't cheat on my diet as much, like probably twice a week, maybe once a week now. And like I know how to track my macros now. Like I don't need my fitness pal to track macros, right? I could just go through the plan that my coach has for me and do that, right? And then I learned how to carb cycle. I learned all these great things during prep, right? Prep taught me a lot of things and definitely made me more disciplined with the gym, with fitness overall, with my health. And I realized how important it is if I want to take myself to the next level, right? If I want to become a pro bodybuilder, all these things I learned during prep is what I'm going to do in the off season as well. So that's pretty much my journey of going through like why I started lifting, why I started getting into the gym, and why I wanted to personal develop as a man to become better, right? And then pretty much the reason why I wanted to start this business, leading men closer to discipline, right? Helping men achieve a physique that they can be proud of, to be jacked, to feel confident, right? Because I was in that same place a lot of men are in today, right? Starting out, you know, always caring what people thought about me, not being confident, not being a man that can be proud of looking in the mirror. But now I can do that, right? Obviously, I'm never gonna be satisfied with where I am with my physique, with my business, or with anything, right? I'm always gonna want more. And that's just us humans, like that's just human nature. We're gonna always want more, like always. But I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Hopefully you guys can take away something from that. Hopefully, I know a lot of you guys can relate, right? Being that skinny kid or being that overweight kid, right? Not having confidence and just wanting to make a change. But all I want to tell you guys is that if you want to make a change with your body, with your mind, you are capable of doing it, right? But you need to want it bad enough. You just have to want it more than anyone else, right? You need to want that change bad enough. If you want to get jacked, if you want to have six-pack abs, if you want to have big biceps, big arms, a nice chest, or you want to have a good bench, like you need to want it bad enough, and you need to take action, right? Wanting it is something else, right? Wanting it bad enough is what you need, right? But if you don't take action on wanting it, if you don't take action on the goals that you have, that desired life, that desired man that you want to become, you're never going to get there, right? You need to take the steps to get there. You need to take action. You need to commit. You need to commit to your goals. You need to commit and stay disciplined with it, right? And I'm telling you right now, once you see those results, it'll be so much easier to show up for yourself because you know it's possible, right? I want you to engrave this into your mind. You need to know that it is possible, right? It is possible to make a change. It is possible to become more confident. It is possible to be disciplined. It is possible to be jacked. It is possible to lose all that weight. It is possible to lean bulk and get jacked and become this amazing, like, have an amazing physique, right? To have a dream physique, it is possible, and you need to realize that you can do it and you're capable of doing anything that you set your mind to, right? You just have to want it bad enough to make a change. And that's all I'm gonna yap about. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, you enjoyed my story, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.